Okay, so this clock was given to somebody on the Buy Nothing website, and it loses time. Not sure how much or such, but and I've tried it a couple times. I plugged it in. It didn't too. It lost an indeterminate amount of time, and then this time when I've taken the battery out to check it and put it back in, it didn't work at all. So what we're going to do, just first thing real quick, we're going to check the battery. We should see 1.5 volts or more. We see 1.508, so it's still technically a good battery, but I'm going to put another battery in it. This battery I'm going to put in is got 1.59 volts in it. Yeah, this battery with 1.5 volts will run a remote control for 6 months. I don't know how long it'll run a clock, especially a big clock. So next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to flip this over and see if the time changes. So I'm going to set it to 7 o'clock, which is around when it is, and then we're going to wait a few minutes. I'm laying the clock on its back because theoretically that's the least amount of effort. It should take the least amount of effort for the clock to turn the hands when it's laying on its back. It doesn't have to overcome gravity. It's really just spinning the hands as opposed to trying to raise them up. So we'll let this sit for a minute and then we'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I went from, this clock's been sitting for over a minute, the hand hasn't moved. Looks like it went from losing time to not keeping time at all. So we're gonna take a look at it and see if there's anything obviously going on that might affect its ability to tell time. And normally what we'd see in a working Clockworks is, although the whole thing won't work, what we would see is we would see oscillation. We would see this magnet right here going back and forth because this electromagnet was reversing its polarity, which is how the clock works. There's a board in the back that reverses the polarity on this, a quartz crystal or something like that. But I'm not seeing any movement at all. Normally it would twitch. All right. So we're going to go a little deeper and we're going to look at what else is in here. So this long piece runs a minute hand. This is just a secondary gear. Little tiny gear. Hole in the bottom. Should be riding on a post, which is right there. So this gear rides on this post, is turned by this, which in turn turns the minute hand, which in turn turns turns the hour hand. And pin is present, gears are present. Lighten it up a little bit. Oh. Magnet. Oil. Quartz crystal. Those two tabs fit the two pads on there, so once in place it energizes this. We'll make sure, that that's getting energy. As a matter of fact, let's just take a look at that. Well, looky there. This pad looks nice, looks good, looks clean. This pad is an awful lot like it's got some corrosion on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean that up. I've got some liquid that's made just for cleaning oxidization off of contacts, and I'm going to get it. I'll be right back. All right. We're back. So the Oxit is a professional contact cleaner. It's used for both cleaning up and protecting against future oxidization. So, and that's what's going on this little board here. So, that's an awful lot of it, but that's okay. Too much isn't bad, as long as it doesn't get on the gears. But since it's a protectant and it protects corrosion, as well as cleaning it up, it protects. We'll leave a little bit of that on there. I'm just going to let that sit for a second. That's pretty stubborn stuff there. I'm going to use a mechanical means to remove it. You can see where if that doesn't conduct electricity, having that on one of the contacts might be problematic for a battery-powered clock. Okay. One more time. Also going to put that right here. Just a spot where the battery power is transferred to the board. And look, that's all nice and clean now. And so, we're going to put the clock back together. If you take the hands off a clock, you always want to return them. When you put them back on, always point them straight up together at 12, and that may seem like a simple thing, but it's what helps make sure that every time the minute hand makes a rotation, that the hour hand is actually pointing at the hour and not stuck somewhere between. So it's always a good starting point. I say that not because I'm smart, but because I'm old and I've done it the other way and had to take it apart. Okay. And we'll be back in a few minutes to see if it's working. I'm back. I'm not going to wait very long. But we can see the minute hand on that clock moving. So to recap, what it looks like the problem was corrosion built up where the leads for the battery contact the little circuit board that controls the clock's movement. We went in and we cleaned up that corrosion and reassembled the clock, and it appears as if it's working now. That would have presented the symptoms of losing time as well as the eventual shutdown of keeping time altogether. So I'm going to call this clock fixed. Be reaching out to you to have you pick it up. Thank you.